Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast. And today we're doing the United Talks live, and we're talking about a whole lot of things, a host of things, like a lot of things going on right now with Man United fans, and not getting over what has happened the last couple of days and everything in between. I mean, you have people worried about the Everton defeat. Some other people talking about the fallout from the defeat. You have people calling Man United, saying all sorts of things. The fans overreacting, big content creators, or I don't want to call them big content creators because I don't know how you can be a big content creator and not see certain things or understand why certain things are happening. They come out, they overreact, they shout, they yell, and all of that, embarrass themselves online. But the truth is, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has come out several times to say that he's definitely going to be backing, Rúben Amorim. They've also said Rúben Amorim is going nowhere. They've also said things like, he has the backing of, the club, the board, and everything. So today, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to also be talking about a few other things that have popped up on the social space that we need to actually address and have a sensible conversation about. These are the things that, sometimes Man United fans, when they react to certain news and certain concerns, it brings us back and sets us back a few steps. So it's one thing we have to think about. It's one thing we have to kind of have a sensible conversation about, because it's not looking good, but it is what it is. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about a few other things that have gone on in the transfer front with what Manchester United's interests are. We're going to be talking about a few other things, especially with Man United's interest and everything in between. So thank you so much for joining. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to everything Manchester United. So there's so many things we could talk about. Patrick Dogu, but let me just give you kind of like a breakdown of all of the things that we're going to be talking about today. So just give me one quick second and get my list. Okay, so we're talking about Patrick Dogu's Patrick Dogu is trending on social media. That's all I can say. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about, Diogo León potentially going on loan. Left back. Antoine Semenyo to Man United. Maybe the update as well. We'll talk about James Garner and his move with. I was supposed to bring this news to you like 2 days ago, but it is what it is. We'll talk about the fallout from the Everton game, and then what Rúben Amorim said before the Everton game. We'll also talk about the Amorim versus Zirkzee frustration or tension, and then we'll also talk about the fallout from the game, right? With Zirkzee and what fans think. We'll talk about the academy star that was named on the Everton, on the bench against Everton. We'll talk about Mbeumo as well, because I think there's not much conversations that have been had about Mbeumo. Then the headline of this is definitely the fact that Rúben Amorim is going to be backed in January, according to reports, credible reports anyway. We'll start with the Dogu one. The Dogu situation right now is a dire one, and I'm going to read it to you. Patrick Dogu liked a post questioning Fernandes, as in Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro midfield pairing. Patrick Dogu likes a post questioning Fernandes and Casemiro midfield pairing. The 21-year-old Danish left back, signed from Lecce last year, plays wing back in Rúben Amorim's 3-4-2-1 system, or 3-4-3 as case may be. Then Fernandes and Casemiro have often started deeper together during United's mid-table start, including a recent draw against 10-man Everton. Now, fans are split between praising Dogu's candor or the midfield issues on the midfield issues and warning of consequences for the player as Amorim, who came in November 2024, adapts to the veterans to his high intensity style. Now, in as much as we want to deny the fact that this is what is going on, I went and looked, and I saw the post, and this is what the post read. The post read, just give me one quick sec. The post read, any coach that sees Casemiro and Fernandes as a viable pivot is one that isn't serious. That's a post that he said. Any coach that he liked, any coach that sees Casemiro and Fernandes as a viable midfield pivot is one that isn't serious. And I'm like, okay, this person is by Tosin MM, right? And then my UFC Union posted it, and then someone screenshotted it basically and said, don't really have the platform to post something like this, so it will be wasted and potentially missed. Why Conrad Barr is basically doing that, going to look for stuff to screenshot so that he can actually post it. He says, don't really have a platform to post something like this, so it will be wasted and potentially missed. Can go check for yourself, but I screenshotted it in case he removed his like. I'm like, okay, so what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Now, people have gone and checked. I've gone and checked, and I've seen it's actually Patrick Dogu that liked it. Did he like it accidentally? I don't know. Is it somebody managing his account that liked it? I don't know. What is happening? Because it seems like Patrick Dogu is not reading the room as to what is going on the social space. It seems Patrick Dogu is not reading the room as to what happened last season, especially when it comes to the social space. You come online and you like posts that deliberately slags the manager, then you know that you're in for it. Whether you have an opinion about stuff or not, you don't need to show it on social media. And Man United is still trying to recover from the issue of social media. Man United has issues, is still trying to recover from issues of social media posts from the past group of players or past crop of players like Marcus Rashford and co, where they'll do stuff on social media, or you have players like Garnacho as well putting stuff on social media. He's hardly put stuff out on social media with his brothers and family members doing all sorts of stuff on socials. And then you have a certain Patrick Dogu who is very naive and innocent coming to do the same. Like, read the room. Even if you must not necessarily like whatever you see out on social media, read the room. But no, he goes on and likes it, and it is screenshotted and posted. That is absolutely. So this is what happens. Tosin MM posts it on X. My UFC Union screenshots it and posts it on Instagram. And then Patrick Dogu goes and likes it. And he's the leading liked. He should know that he's 21 years old, no doubt, but he should know that he is someone who basically is a popular guy on social media. You don't just react to things like that. It's becoming crazy. It's been 24 hours since that happened, or in the last couple of hours, right? Still dated 27th. So it's crazy. You have fans who are saying that, Patrick Dogu has gained a new fan, blah, blah, blah. The Amorim authors are out already. It's funny because no one accidentally likes posts either. Probably thought he was on his burner. Someone says, he probably tried to... he's probably tired of dropping solid performances for Denmark as a left back, and then having to do the left wing shifts for United, and then people trolling him and hating on him when he doesn't perform like Doku or Vini. I'm surprised people are comparing him to Doku or Vini. He says, well said, bro. That's why I don't get onto Dogu, because he's definitely being misused. Misused how? Don't blame Dogu. Don't blame Dogu. Blame your manager for having a system that makes a 21-year-old left back from Lecce always get our best chances instead of an actual left winger. I'm like, these are Amorim authors who are looking for basic things to actually slag Amorim for, because the knives are out, right? The knives are out, right? So it's been crazy. It's been crazy, and it's one of those things where you have to just kind of ask yourself certain questions, kind of ask yourself what he's trying to do, what he's trying to achieve by doing that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's pretty crazy. So it says then someone yeah, so some people actually even said stuff like, oh, Dogu said, nah, I'm fed up of this mid manager. Okay, it says, oh, you're not even a United fan. Why does it concern you who plays in midfield? That is for in response to what? Ellis. Yep, Ellis. United Ellis. Okay, then this one really caught my eye, and it says, yeah, he's not getting any minutes till Amorim leaves now. Oh, not just Dogu. That Amorim is misusing every player. Ahmad is winger, but wasting him as right wing back. We need a new manager. Stop blaming players again and again. Yeah, you guys are just amazing. Good luck on the next chapter of your career. This is from Storm. Dogu, Amorim is about to throw you in the dungeon and force a sale in January. Yeah, man. The career that has not even started is already going to fall to pieces, man. And people are saying, oh, Dalo at left wing back for the foreseeable future. Patrick Dogu liked an Instagram post that reads blah blah blah. It's been going everywhere on social media. I'm sure he will see it. And yeah, and guess what? People went on to make sure they made it blow. It's crazy. I when I saw this, I thought it was basically not. I thought it was basically not a big deal. Maybe it was not him and stuff. I went and saw for myself. It is actually him. That's crazy, man. That is absolutely crazy. This is disappointing. This is disappointing, man. Anyway, let's move on from that. It's really sad. Don't want to flog it. I've been talking about this for like 12 minutes now. Let's talk about other things. Angelo Stiller, VFB Stuttgart director, speaks on Man United targets future. Man United are among the clubs keeping a close eye on Stuttgart's Angelo Stiller, who has grown from strength to strength. Signed from Hoffenheim in 2023 for a reported 5.5 million euros. The German midfielder is now an integral part of Sebastian Hoeneß's setup. Recent reports have suggested that Real Madrid have already identified Stiller as a successor to Toni Kroos at the Santiago Bernabeu. Okay. Meanwhile, United are also eyeing 24-year-old as they look to address their midfield shortcomings in 2026. Rúben Amorim wants more control in midfield, so Rúben Amorim is attempting to transform United into a team that can dominate possession, and the Portuguese head coach has already upgraded his attack this year and has now set his sights on improving the midfield. While shifting Bruno Fernandes to the pivot role alongside Casemiro, has paid dividends this season in some quarters. The Red Devils need a long-term solution for that position. The Premier League giants are expected to go all out to improve the midfield next year, and Carlos Baleba, Elliot Anderson, and Adam Wharton already on the radar. Stiller's recent rise with Stuttgart also makes him a strong candidate for the club for the job, although the German is not short of suitors. The German club's sporting director Fabian Wolfgemuth has now spoken about the player's future. Stuttgart relaxed about Stiller's future, so this is where Stiller's transfer is potentially blocked by Stiller. Now, speaking to Sky 90, Fabian actually said that he said, and I quote, he has a contract with us. It's too early to big up to you, ITN. Big up to you, ITN. I see you. It says it's too early to speculate about that. Of course, one or two clubs will have their eye on him. ITN, just before I continue, ITN, this is for you. What do you think about the Patrick Dogu situation? We seem to be, it seems to be trending all over social media that Patrick Dogu liked a tweet or a post on Instagram about a fan who was questioning Rúben Amorim's playing Casemiro and Bruno as a midfield pivot. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's have a conversation. I've talked about this for about 5-10 minutes, but yeah, we can talk about this. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. So of course, the two clubs have had their eyes on him, having an outstanding season. Maybe he'll play in the World Cup. We'll see. We're happy he's with us. Still is under contract until 2028 and could cost around 60 million euros. However, Real Madrid's presence in the race could spell trouble for United. So what do you guys think? Angelo Stiller, everybody's talking about him, and now that Man United have gone in for him, it's going to be a big issue because everybody's going to be everybody's going to be basically having their eyes on him, and it's going to be a bigger deal because obviously he's going to be very expensive and the United tax always comes in. Another news we have, I mean, I've not seen much of Stiller. I've seen him, maybe highlights you could say, basically of him just being that player that eventually can distribute the ball and all that, but he looks like someone who has the ability to spray passes, control the game, dictate the tempo and stuff. But that also makes him a central midfielder as well. Is he a defensive midfielder? We're going to check out what Fortmod lists him as. Yeah, we're going to check out what Fortmod lists him as. Yeah. We're just looking at the score lines right now, currently at the Europa League. Yeah. Aston Villa beat Young Boys 2-1. Porto beat Nice 3-0. Fenerbahce 1-1 with Ferencvaros. Feyenoord lost to Celtic 3-1. Leo beat Dinamo Zagreb 4-0. Ludogorets beat Celta Vigo 3-2. Wow. And then we have PAOK playing a draw with Brann, and Roma playing 2-1 with Midtjylland. And then Victoria Pilsen 0-0 to Freiburg. ITN is saying Dogu can have that opinion. I'm more concerned with him and his performance. For me, he's a left back only, so to be up the pitch and as a wing back, he offers nothing, especially against a low block. Yes, you have a point about the low block situation. Being up and down the pitch is what basically he's always been our outlet. When he plays as a left back for Denmark, he actually plays kind of like a left wing back as well, where he goes up and still scored in the international break. He gets chances as well. It's just if he's able to put away his chances and Man United are winning, nobody's going to be talking about Dogu's performances. When we had that winning run, nobody's talking about Dogu's performance. I think people are even talking about Dalot more than even Dogu. But still, right, it still doesn't warrant, some of those things. He needs to put in good performances week in, week out. But it's sad. It is really sad. He hasn't even started his career. This January is going to make him 1 year at Man United, and this is already happening. He should be able to read the room. He should be able to, as in, he's a professional player. Amorim has said it several times that Man United as a club don't listen to the fans on social media. Now, I mean, what I mean by they don't listen to criticisms like that on social media, and they try as much as possible to shield the players from social media. So it's really disheartening and heartbreaking to see that Patrick Dogu is being drawn into this kind of conversation. Yeah. So basically, another news we have is that Man United are willing to go the extra mile in the pursuit of a 60 million Premier League star, and that person is in Antoine Semenyo. As the headline goes, you see that Antoine Semenyo is potentially going to be given the number 24 shirt. If he comes, it is free. Obviously, we all know that Andrew Onana was the last person to wear it, and he's already out on loan and definitely going to be sold. Yeah, it is what it is. It's very disheartening to see, but then everybody kind of wished that Onana turned up, but never turned up at Man United. Now, the 25-year-old Ghanaian international has been one of the best performers in the Premier League this season, and his impressive form has placed him firmly on the radar of several top clubs, with Liverpool and Manchester City also monitoring his situation. Manchester United are reportedly weighing up a January move for Bournemouth winger Antoine Semenyo, according to Manchester Evening News, right? Now, his 6 goals and 3 assists in the league have been crucial to Bournemouth's strong start under Andoni Iraola. Capable of playing anywhere across the front three, Semenyo's direct style and relentless energy has made him one of the Premier League's most underrated attacking talents. Now, Man United have genuine interest in Antoine Semenyo, according to Manchester Evening News. It suggests that Man United are interested in securing his signature as part of manager Rúben Amorim's plans to refresh his attacking options. ITN is saying that this is in response to Dogu, he's only known as a left back for club and country, and now suddenly he's supposed to be able to be a wing back. You see, he's not comfortable in that position. Well, I did just to answer your question, yeah, I did a video, a player profile video. So we usually do this on this channel where we do a player profile of every player that Manchester United signs. So if Man United is interested, probably won't talk about it. But once there is this thing from like the top reporter saying deal close or deal almost done or something, we start to do our research on the player. And I remember when people questioned his position and why Amorim was playing him at right wing back last season. And I said, okay, let me go do another deep dive. So I did a deep dive on Patrick Dogu. And I can categorically tell you this for a fact that Patrick Dogu, well, I was just checking Crystal Palace versus Strasbourg is 0-0. I'm looking at Crystal Palace because it's our next opponent, right? 23 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Yeah. So Patrick Dogu plays multiple positions, and Rúben Amorim prefers players who can play multiple positions. So we're looking at Dogu. Now, just your regular FotMob search puts him as his main position. Obviously he started as a left back, but puts him as his main position as left wing back. Now, Dogu, left wing back, he plays left wing back, left back, right midfield, left midfield, right wing, and left and right wing back. So these are the positions he's played. And if you check Transfer Market, you see like all of the positions and the percentages. I did that research and I did all the other things from FBref and stuff. On that video, you can see it. ITN is saying Dogu, Dalo, Majraoui are not wing backs. End of. They are just full backs in a 4 at the back position. Yeah. So their original position can be fullbacks, but they can also play wing backs. It's just like you saying, who can I use as an example now that will work? Okay, it's just like you saying that Brian Mbeumo, for example, cannot play as a forward, but he's played as a forward before. As a striker, I mean, he played as a lone striker, but he's not a striker, but he can play as a striker. You also would say the same thing for Cunha, right? Cunha started out as a central midfielder, moved on to playing as a striker at RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, and then Sion, and then moved back into mid, and then played as a 10. When he went to Atletico Madrid, I remember people talking about him being the most defensive striker ever, wasn't scoring goals and stuff, but he was as the striker of Atletico Madrid, then moved to a 10. We look at Brian Mbeumo, he can play 4 positions across the front line. He can play as a right wing, an attacking mid, both left and right, a right midfielder, and a striker. The strongest roles he's played are as an attacking midfielder and a right winger. His strongest role listed, especially just on FotMob alone, is right winger. You mentioned Diogo Dalot, which we're going to talk about we're going to talk about Dalot, right? I mean, we're going to talk about Amad Diallo. Now, we're going to talk about Amad, just having a look at Amad. Amad is listed as an attacking midfielder, but he also is tagged as a winger, but his main position is attacking mid. When he first started his career, he plays as a right winger or right midfielder, and he can also play as a right wing back. His two strongest positions are right wing back and attacking midfield. At Sunderland, he played as an attacking 10 from the right side. Now, ITN is saying, you have Diallo getting the space in the wing backs end areas, yeah, because he's got the ability, he thrives, but even that is not his position. As I just clarified, he's not a right wing back by trade. So players can be a position by trade, but be able to play other positions. So we have attacking mid for Ahmad as his main position, but when he came to Man United, he was playing as a winger. So are you saying that all the other managers that played him as a winger playing him at the wrong position? That's facts. So you see that we could capitalize. Same thing with Giovanni Quenda. Giovanni Quenda started as a left wing back, was moved to right wing back, and then he has played right wing forward, and now in a 4-2-3-1 he's playing as a 10. He played yesterday and scored. So it's just different managers with different choices because the players are versatile. So that's what you have. Like in the past, we have players like John O'Shea who can play multiple positions, just like that. John O'Shea has played right back. Wes Brown played right back, but he was a centre back. Doesn't make right back his actual position, but he can be good at playing right back. Then, I think the same wing backs have got to be aggressive in wanting to beat the opposition and provide cutbacks, crosses and shots. None do that. Well, Ahmad has been doing it. He had a shot against Everton. As soon as Diallo got put in the right side, he was comfortable playing well, and the manager is changing too much and players are getting confused. Well, I don't think that is the case. I don't think that is the case with regards to that Everton game, and I'll prove it to you, because we like to work with facts here. We don't try to more like cause a confusion, because I understand where you're coming from, and you say the manager was confusing the players, but I like to state facts. So now, this is the fact of the matter with regards to the Manchester United game on Monday. I'll tell you the lineup so that you know that it's not the manager changing too much that is the problem. It is the squad we have available that's the problem. The starting lineup on the night was Lemons, Euro, De Ligt, Shaw. In the 4, we have Majraoui, Casemiro, Bruno, Dogo. In the 10s, we had Mbeumo, Ahmad, and in striking position, we have Zirkzee. Who could we have brought on that would make this squad different? That would not change things. Will make this squad stronger. On the bench, we had Mason Mount. You could argue that Mason Mount could have started that game ahead of potentially Ahmad being at right wing at the left hand. But if you take Ahmad off the left hand, then you take out Majraoui. But you all know that Majraoui is good, but he has struggled with injuries this season particularly. But last season was good. He played his socks out last season. So Mount is the one player that you could argue. Dalot, everybody doesn't like Dalot. So, I'm not saying I don't like him, but everybody don't like Dalot. Man United fans don't like Dalot. Then you say Kobe Menu. Kobe Menu just came back from an injury. This is his first game back. Okay? Look at the bench. Binder, Aiden Heaven, Lisandro Martinez, Tyrell Malacia, Manuel Ugarte, and Shelesi. Who on this list, in this bench, could have made this squad any different from what it was? You say Lisandro Martinez, he just came out from an ACL injury, right? So I would not blame Rúben Amorim for trying out a formation that he felt was the strongest, albeit some players in that formation struggled. You say, okay, he put Ahmad on the right wing back position. That Ahmad to right wing back and Mount to left hand could have worked, could have been the perfect one. But then Mount was still brought in and was still switched, and Ahmad was comfortable, but still couldn't score or create chances. I think saying until we get a settled lineup, this will continue to happen. Amorim is the reason Sesko is not firing and healthy. Like, how? And then Cunha is missing too. Cunha had a knock. Cunha had a knock in training, probably hit his head. Concussion protocol means that he's not even supposed to even be in the lineup. So it's biting Amorim on the So Sesko had a knee injury. It's not Amorim's fault that Sesko had a knee injury. It's not Amorim's fault that Sesko gets his chance and doesn't put it out. It's not Amorim's fault that Cunha hit his head or somebody hit his head in training. It's not Amorim's fault that that's happening. So let's try as much as possible to call a spade when necessary. The players didn't, not saying that the players were super horrible on the day. We're trying to also be measured in our analysis. When Man United wins, everybody's calm, everybody's quiet. Oh, we're doing well, we're on an unbeaten run, blah, 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 blah. When Man United loses a game, the knives are out. Everybody's trying to, cut everyone. But that's the fact. Let's not shift the blame. Okay, Mount was brought on. He had a 6.0 performance on the day. Came in at 46 minutes for Mazraoui. Ahmad had the whole second half to play that right wing back position. Didn't play. But he's not a right wing back. He's an attacking midfielder. He outed Zirkzee with no minutes. Now you want him to come in and fire straight off. It's poor planning. Okay, so I can argue. We can argue about this all day. I can argue the Zirkzee situation. And now Etienne, answer this question in the chat. I probably would create an opportunity for us to have a chat, like for real. Now, Zirkzee, Cunha, and Sesko, right? Mind you, you spent around 130 million pounds to sign Cunha and Sesko combined. Then you spent 36 million to sign Zirkzee. You've seen the best of Zirkzee all through last season. Now, Zirkzee, Cunha, and Sesko, you are asked to pick two players of these three, and one must be a striker and the other one must be an attacking midfielder. Who would you pick? Because I can bet you that Cunha would have changed that game if he was here. At least trying some shots and a deflection can happen and somebody will tap it in. Zirkzee, Cunha, Sesko, who would you pick? And like you are asked to pick two players to be, one will be your 10 and one will be your striker. Who would you pick? Because for Amorim not to have given Zirkzee minutes, there is a reason for that. There are other players ahead of him and better than him. Same thing with Menu. In as much as we want to deny it, Menu is not better than Bruno. Let's not kid ourselves here. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's also not forget the fact that Jordan Pickford had a game of his life. And you just made a comment. ITN is just making a comment saying players are human. Players are human. That's why you can have an off day. That's why I expect Man United fans not to overreact. That's why you can have an off day. You're not always on form. You're not always perfect every day. Some days you're not good. Other days you are. That's the fact. Zirkzee was given a chance. Whether he was rusty or he has not played, or he has had less minutes, or he has had few minutes, or he has had whatever. Zirkzee was given a chance and he didn't take it. We can't deny that. He has not been resting. Let me just give you a breaking news. Zirkzee has not been resting. Zirkzee has been playing. Through the international break, he played. What I mean by played, he was training. And training doesn't, like during international break, doesn't mean he's sitting down one place doing nothing. He's training. There were pictures online showing him training, even with the academy, to try to get match rhythm and match fitness. All the other players came from the international break. Matthias de Ligt played the last game, full 90 minutes for Netherlands. Lommans played the full 90 minutes for Belgium. Euro played 2 games in the international break for the French under-21s. Mazraoui played 1 game, full 90 minutes for Morocco. You have Casemiro, who played full 90 minutes as well last game. Bruno played full 90 minutes last game. Dogo played full 90 minutes in their qualifiers. Mbeumo played the full 90 minutes but only played 1 game in international, so should have more energy and strength. Ahmad played full 90 minutes in their friendlies, 2 games. I think he played 90 minutes in the last one and didn't play the first one. Zirkzee has been training. So one way or another, goals should come from this lineup, right? Pickford made incredible saves, to be honest. On another day, Zirkzee would have netted. Exactly. Imagine, in the whole game, Pickford had the highest rating. Of all 22 players that played that game, Pickford had the highest rating. Pickford had the highest rating. He saved 2 shots from Bruno and 3 shots from Zirkzee. We're looking at his stat here. Pickford had 6 saves, and all 6 saves were on target. Jordan Pickford was the player of the match with a rating of, pretty much, according to FotMob. 6 saves, and all 6 saves were on target. And those are the 6 shots that Man United didn't score. It is what it is. So, if Pickford didn't have an amazing game, 2 of those, look at our XG from the stats. Talked about this in the match preview. 1.71. That's our XG, expected goals. If Pickford didn't have the game of his life, Man United had 25 shots. If Pickford didn't have the game of his life, Man United had scored 2 goals. It would have ended 2-1, because you look at it, 0.71 expected goals compared to Everton's 0.21. ITN saying, so for Zirkzee with no game rhythm and fitness, he's done well for me. It's not about, like, okay, game rhythm I can understand, but fitness, Zirkzee was fit. If not, he wouldn't have started that game. We will not lie that Zirkzee had a poor game. We're not gonna come and kid ourselves here, because Zirkzee is your kind of player that comes in the midfield, carries the ball, and drags the whole team forward. He did that all the time he played last season. For some reason, against Everton, he didn't do it. All he did was quick 1-2 passes, short passes and stuff. If you call that, if you attribute it to game rhythm, I'm not going to give you an excuse to that. If you attribute it to fitness, maybe no, that's why I'm going to have an opposing view on it, because the truth is, he had game rhythm. He had an opportunity. He had fitness. If not, he wouldn't have started. Probably would have pushed a Lacey there or Mount there as a false 9. So, but it is what it is. Yeah, ITN is saying match game sharpness and understanding only comes with a run of games behind them. Yeah, that works. No, I'm not disputing that he has not had a run of games. Not disputing that. But players are supposed to be ready to take their chances when it comes. Show that you're trying, show that you're doing something different, that you bring something different to the team. So much so that everybody's gonna wanna back you and all of that. But in all honesty, in that one chance, everybody expected Zirkzee to perform. I'm not saying that he had a very bad game, but he didn't take the game by the scruff of the neck. He had 3 shots and they were all on target. They were headers. He should have scored. He scored against Everton before. Not blaming him for that. But Pickford also had a good game. So it's more of an overriding factor, or so many factors coming together to kind of make this thing a really hard one. Now, reports state that Man United have a genuine interest in Antoine Semenyo. United are prepared to offer Semenyo his preferred number 24 shirt, which is currently vacant due to Andrew Nana spending the season on loan at Trabzonspor. Sources indicate that personal terms will not be a major obstacle if United choose to activate their interest in January. However, United aren't alone in their pursuit. ITN is saying he was rusty in link up, but he's not bad. He's not had a role of no, I'm not disputing that. He's not had a role of games. He's not had a run of games. Zirkzee cannot be rusty. What you can say is probably doesn't have match rhythm or match sharpness, but I'm sure in training he's been showing the signs. But we also won't deny the fact that Cunha and Sesko have been better than him this season, whether it's a run of games or not a run of games. Now, Cunha had a knock. I'm sure, from what I saw, it was a head injury, and concussion protocol says you don't try to play him. So, for someone to have had such an injury that he couldn't go out for a function, then there is a problem, right? And it's a serious one, even though Amorim says it's not serious. However, United aren't alone in the pursuit. Liverpool are also said to be keeping a close eye on Semenyo, viewing him as a potential addition to their evolving front line under Arne Slot. Hey God. Anyway, let's not talk about that. I've gloated about it for a long time, and Slot has lost. Means Slot is an anagram of lost, so Slot has lost the plot. Yeah. Okay, I'll come to that. Let me just finish this Semenyo situation. However, United aren't alone in the pursuit. Liverpool are interested. Both clubs facing can hurdle, though Semenyo's contract reportedly includes 60 million release clause, which becomes active in the upcoming transfer window. Would Bournemouth agree to a mid-season sale? Antoine Semenyo's action, Bournemouth, for their part, remain reluctant to sell mid-season, especially given Semenyo's vital role in their attack. Club officials are confident that they can fend off general interest, though they are aware that a sizable offer could force them to reconsider. With United desperate for greater attacking consistency and Semenyo rapidly rising in reputation, their interest could increase ahead of January, and their intention to hand him the number 24 shirt could convince the player to become part of Amorim's promising project. I'm not gonna agree to this. Mine could be interested in Semenyo, I'll never know. But the truth is, I'm not gonna agree to the fact that obviously Semenyo is going to come to Man United because we want to offer him the 24 shirt. That doesn't mean anything. We don't need Semenyo. Just as ITN has said in the chat, we don't need Semenyo. We probably need, what we need now, instead of spending 60 million, the first thing we need is two midfielders. That's what we need. Two young midfielders in their 20s. You know. Yeah. Now, there's another news. I mean, there's another argument that's about to ensue with regards to what ITN is saying. ITN is saying, okay, how about Amorim? Can we say when game situations occur, he's very stubborn to flip it? I know where you're going with this, but let's read to the end. Yeah. Everton had 10 men. After a few minutes, he knew he should get Dogu off, but he didn't. I can't excuse Rúben. Okay. Let's go to that. We're still looking at the lineup. Crystal Palace have scored against Strasbourg. Tyreek Mitchell is the scorer. Tyreek Mitchell is coming up with the goods, man. He's just 26. Still young, man. Anyway. And he's a Tyreek Mitchell is a left back that is playing as a left wing back in Oliver Glasner's 3-4-3, and he's scoring. That's what Dogu should be doing, but it is what it is. And Dogu is still 21, so we can still give him that credit for that, right? Back to the Everton game. He says he should have taken Dogu out. Okay, I'm looking at the lineup. Take Dogu out and bring who, please? Take Dogu out and bring Mount. And switch to what? And play you know, Amorim is definitely going to change the system. So take Dogu out and bring who? Mount, Menu, Dalo. He took Dogu out at 58 minutes and brought in Dalo. On the comment, it took him till after halftime to realize take off Dogu, Mount on. Now, he didn't take Dogu off. He took Dogu off and brought on Mount. No, he took Dogu off and brought on. Just give me one quick sec. We're going to look at it now. So the subs, he took Mazraoui and brought he took Mazraoui off and brought on Mount to move Ahmad. This was 46 minutes to move Ahmad to right wing back. In the second half, he took Casemiro off and brought on Kobe Menu because there's no need to have a defensive midfielder in the game when Everton. So it looks sensible to me. There's no need to have a defensive midfielder in the game when Everton are not playing. When Everton are playing a low block, since we're going to have control for the most part. Then he took Dogu and brought on Dalo. That looks sensible to me. Two midfielders and one winger or wing back, as the case may be. Shaw will push on. Shaw actually did. If you look at Shaw's average position, he pushed on towards that left back, which pushed Mount in. Okay. On the side, on that side, he should tell Shaw to go in those left areas. He did. I have checked Shaw's heat map. Shaw's heat map versus Everton. He did actually go to that left side. Okay. We still had 3 CBs doing nothing. Who could have come on? That's my question. I'm still asking that question to any Man United fans who can come on and any Man United fan who can come on and answer the question. You take out a centre back, who comes on? Please. Then he says, bro, that makes no sense. Yeah, you take out a centre back, who comes on? What? You see that the way the centre backs play, they're not playing as sitting centre backs. That's the one thing. People are looking at formations and assuming. This is me. I'm not trying to make an excuse. Amorim says we have no excuse, but I'm not trying to make an excuse for Rúben Amorim for the team in general. We just didn't score. That's what it is. We just didn't score. You take out a centre. Say for example, who do you want to take out? You take out. Look. Okay, you say you had 3 centre backs, and you're saying you should have pushed Shaw up. If you push Shaw up, that still makes us have 2 centre backs sitting. You put Ahmad is there, Shaw is there, Dalo is there. Like, what's the argument? He took out what? But it took long to change that. Too long. Euro had a stinker in possession. You take out Euro, that still brings. Who do you bring in? Let me look at the bench. Aiden Heaven, left centre back. Lisandro Martinez, left centre back. Tyrone Malacia, not a centre back. Manuel Ugarte, central midfielder. Shea Lacey, attacker. Leave Casemiro on and Menu comes in. You leave Casemiro on, Casemiro gets another yellow card. He already got a yellow card. Trust me, I've looked at these facts. If I can come here and say anything, Casemiro got a yellow card in the 49th minute. This first half just literally started after 4 minutes. He got a yellow card. There is a high chance with the pressure, Casemiro gets another yellow card. You drop Casemiro back as a centre back, fans are going to cry out. Bro, I know this fan base. Let me tell you what sparked the argument with regards to why Amorim still had 3 centre backs and stuff. It's Jamie Carragher. He said it on Monday Night Football. Oh, he doesn't understand why he couldn't have flipped it. You have 3 centre backs. Why do you still have 3? Who comes on? That's my question. The only sensible argument you can give me here is, okay, you take out Dogu, you push Shaw to left wing back, and ITN doesn't like Shaw playing at left wing back, but it is what it is. You take out Dogu, you push Shaw at left wing back, Shaw who had a good game by the way, and then you bring on Aiden Heaven. Maybe you can tell me about that and I can agree with you. But you tell me that you push Casemiro back into centre back. Casemiro is 1 yellow card away from getting a red card, and you all know we are thin in midfield. We cannot risk it. That's why he had to take Casemiro off after 10 minutes of the second half. Are we going to talk about Mbeumo, who had a stinker? But we're not going to call it out because obviously I'm not going to go and call out Mbeumo for having a stinker because it's one bad day at the office. Everton were just holding out. There's not a threat from them to be scared. Yeah, they had a couple counterattacks. Come on, let's not kid ourselves here. They had a couple counterattacks. You look at the they had that spell in the 77th minute where they were attacking us until we won the ball back. They nearly scored. Come on, guys. But now you're making excuses. It's up to the manager to adapt. He's clearly not aware, and you don't need to defend him. Okay. I'm not defending the manager because he also himself came out said he was responsible for the defeat, that he needed to continue to tell his players to switch on their mentality with regards to the game, and that he didn't do that. And they're like, and then the press was saying, oh, why are you taking the blame? you know that the players are to blame, right? And it's like, no, I'm not saying the players are to blame. Everybody, it's a team thing. So I mean, I watched the press conference. I also watched the game, and when I'm watching the game, I'm trying to watch it. I should have done a live watch along, but I had a family matter, so I had to watch the game. And I was watching with keen interest to try to see what we're trying to achieve. When Cunha got injured, it seems like it took the wind out of our sail. Let's not kid ourselves. We had 2 players that were injured, and those were, I mean, we talked about 3 signings that Man United had. I spent over 200 millions. So you're saying there's no players? No, but I tell you, you're saying there's no players. No, I'm not saying that there's no players. But you look at the bench. I'll mention the names. Mason Mount, okay. If you play too much, he can get injured, so you have to manage his load. Diogo Dalot has had stinkers all season. Kobe Mainoo does not have much with him, but then eventually he came on and didn't have much to show for it. You're definitely not starting Antoine there. I'm looking at the bench, right? Eden Heaven, yes, you could say, okay, take out Dogu, push Shaw as left wing back, and then put Eden Heaven. But you brought on Mount, and still Shaw played kind of like a left wing back. You brought on Dalot, still played the same thing, kind of like an attacking. Tara Malacia obviously is never going to get a chance to play. Lisandro Martinez, same thing. Lisandro Martinez just coming from an ACL injury. You don't rush him back in that kind of game. You have to give him a game that will make it easier for him. Manuel Ugarte, most fans don't even like him, and he's struggling. And they were even asking Amorim questions in the press conference with regards to that. Shelesi, young kid, you don't want to put him in that kind of game, and when he loses, then that becomes his mentality, right? So let's just all feel sorry and allow the pathetic excuse he's got access to the first team squad under 21 and youth. Come on, bro, allow it. Okay, I've said this several times. I did a video yesterday with talking about the under 21s. If you look at Man United under 21s, let's be rational. Let's be rational here. Do you think that I watch under 21s a lot, so I know. Do you think that the under 21s are good enough to play in the Premier League? I watch them, and I can tell you this for a fact. Even to the Obi, that everybody's blowing loud trumpets for, or bring him in. We saw what happened last season. We're not going to deny that it happened. In as much as we want to tell ourselves the truth, that happened. You look at, it says he's not fresh at the club and you can excuse it. He's had more than enough time that shows he has no idea. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a really long day. But in truth, yeah. Anyway, so it is what it's like I said. I agree. I understand I understand your opinion. ITN, I understand your opinion with regards to the whole Amorim situation. Like I said, there is a gap in quality between the under 21s and the first team. Whether we want to accept it or not, that is the absolute truth. If you watch using the eye test, there is a gap in quality between Man United's under 21s and just let's go to Manchester United. I know, so I watched some of the games and the players. We go to the under 21 games. They play against Tamworth on 16th of December. That's the next game. So look at the squad. The manager is Travis Binion. Obviously, Adrian Janusz, the goalkeeper. Let's leave goalkeepers. Defenders. Albert Mills, 17. Eden Heaven, obviously he's in the first team. Daniel Armour, he will get smoked in the Premier League. He's a centre back. I know the guy. He's a good player. Not gonna lie, I watched him, Dan Armour, but he will get smoked in the Premier League. Diego León has barely had 90 minutes. I've talked about this on the channel a couple times. He's barely had 90 minutes under his belt since he joined Man United. Godwin Kukonki, left centre back, good player, not up to speed. We watched him in postseason. He got run by that team we lost to in postseason, the Asian All-Stars. James Overy, potential to go on loan, needs to go out on loan. He's just 18. He needs to break out. Jenny Kamasin, we've seen him in postseason and all of that. Right wing back. James Overy, defender, centre back. He plays for Australia now. I think he played for Australia in the international break. I don't know whether he featured. Reece Monroe, centre back, needs a loan. Definitely needs a loan. He's 18 years. Tyler Fredrickson, we've all seen him, right centre back. Reece Bennett, I think he's already on loan, or he's back. He's 22 already. Then you have Finley McAllister. I think he's already on loan. You have Jack Fletcher, who was on the bench in the Spurs game. Jacob Devaney, midfielder. He has played as centre back. Has also played as a right back, Irish international. Jace Fitzgerald. I talked about him. One of the players I listed out as a midfielder that needs to go on loan to play in Championship. He's 18. You have Jim Thwaites. Everybody's talking about him right now. He's a good player, but he's 17 and he's still going to be smoked by Premier because nobody's going to give him the space he has in the academy to play that kind of ball that he plays until he builds his stature and becomes a tough player to be able to play in that. Then you have Samuel Lusal, Slovakia international winger. Obviously not going to make it to the first team yet. He's 18. Sekou Kone, yes, you could argue about Sekou Kone. He's 19, just came back from injury. Potentially could go on loan to Nice or Louisiana Sport. Tommy Rowe, never seen him. I don't know. Tommy Rowe is a midfielder. Surprisingly, he's 37. I don't know what he's doing now. Yeah, maybe the same way we had Tom Huddleston. You have Tyler Fletcher, who is 18. Obviously, we know the Fletcher brothers. Then Amir Ibrahimov. This is one player I know that is good and has the potential to actually make the first team next year. He's such a good player. He's 17. Ashton Misson. I think I watched 1 or 2 games. He's 19. If he hasn't made any leap at 19, he should probably be going on loan. Bendito Mantato, we already know, right wing back or right attacking mid, but he's more of a right wing back than an attacking mid. Then Chidobe, obviously he's 17, obviously not ready. We all know, we saw it last season. It's not ready, not up to speed. Gabriel Biancheri, this is one I think that can be ready, should be also be on the cusp of making the first team, and then he also could go on loan as well. James Scanlon, same thing. He plays for Gibraltar. He's 19, hasn't been on form this season. Michael Sharp, Malachi Sharp, same thing, 20 years, should be breaking through leaps and bounds. Shea Lacey, I watched him, a good player. You saw that he was on the cusp of starting. Victor Musa, striker, same thing. And then Samata, same thing. They all need, Samata is 21, already needs a loan. We can discuss all players in under 21. It's the manager who needs to work it out. He's got more than enough, and what I'm seeing is he's just surviving. He's got no future. Yeah. What's he saying? Okay, so ITN is also saying, look at the facts. The league finished over the last 2 years, losing to Spurs in Europa, and never we trashed the team. Yeah. Anyway, I know we trashed Brighton very recently, but it is what it is. So the fact about this whole thing is this, yeah. Whether we like it or not, that's the headline of this report. The fact is, Rúben Amorim is going to be backed. Rúben Amorim is going to try and get his players in. If we look at it in actual sense, Rúben Amorim only brought on one player when he joined, and that was Patrick Dogo. The other 3 players he brought on, Dogo at left wing back or left back, Cunha 10 striker, Mbeumo 10 striker, Sesko striker. These are players. These are players that basically Rúben Amorim's. So he has his forward sorted. He has his right wing back sorted in Ahmad. Left wing back isn't completely sorted. Jury still out for Dogu. Then midfield is where he had his problem. If we had at least one midfielder or 2 midfielders, we could have dynamism on the day when Sesko is out injured. Mbeumo can switch up to a striker and Bruno can play as a 10. Could have all that. It says just tight wins here and there. Brighton wasn't a tight win. Sunderland wasn't a tight win. That's it. What is your best performance you see with consistency? We're at that 3-game winning run. Whether we like it or not, we won those 3 games. It wasn't tight wins. We beat Sunderland fair and square 2-0 in the first half already. They didn't even score us. We beat Brighton. We beat Liverpool fair and square. It wasn't a tight win. We beat them. You could see it. They were bad on the day, so we took advantage. We beat Brighton fair and square 4-2. They scored us 2 quick goals when it was 3-2, and we still scored them 4-2. You could say, okay, we came back against Nottingham Forest, we came back against Spurs. Those were the games that we should have won. But you can't say of the 5 games that he won 3 and they were tight wins. You look at Liverpool, they've not had a tight win this last couple of games. They've lost 9 games in 12 attempts, 12 matches, 2 wins in the Champions League, 6 games in 12 games in the Premier League, 6 wins, 6 losses. Yeah, Liverpool hit the post many times, but who came out with the win? It wasn't a tight win. Liverpool hit the post many times, no doubt. We're not going to deny that. Also, Man United hit the post twice that same day. So if we're going to count who hit the post, maybe Liverpool could have scored 3, and Man United was already 2 up, and then the 2 posts, Bruno's own and the other one that hit the side of the post, could have made it 4-2 or 4-3. So still not tight wins. To go to Anfield and beat Liverpool 2-1 cannot be underrated. Not everybody can do it. Liverpool have been champions. Don't compare us to and them. Yeah, they've been champions, but they are horrible defending champions, as the case is. I know you, ITN, you don't like Amorim, but yeah, I can understand. So it wasn't a tight win. There's nothing you're going to tell me about that Liverpool win that makes it a tight win. Nah, it wasn't a tight win. Anyway, Manchester United, I mean, if you win 1-0 or you win 2-1 or you win 3-4-3, it's not a tight win. You won. Did you win? Yes. Did you get the points on the board? Yes. They're not going to count when you get to the end of the season after 37 games. They're not going to count whether you had tight wins or narrow wins or square or comfortable wins. Nobody's going to remember the comfortable wins. Everybody's going to say, oh, you won. Liverpool had so many comfortable wins and so many less comfortable wins. Arsenal have had tight wins, what you call tight wins, but still give them the 3 points. They're still unbeaten this season, 16 games. They beat Man United in the first game and it was a tight win. They didn't play anything in that game. Man United outplayed them, but guess what? They won us by a set piece. And do you want to call that a tight win or 3 points? 3 points is 3 points. Tight win or no tight win. Liverpool script wins the first 5-6 games of the Premier League. 5 games in the Premier League. They scored an amazing free kick against Arsenal. That's not counted as a tight win, is it? It's 3 points, right? So anyway, ITN is saying we are going to Selhurst Park 12 midday next. What do you think? I'm going to do a match preview for that. It's a tough game. Just to give you a bit of a context of what's going to happen in that match preview. It's a tough game. It's a game of chess. The good thing is Crystal Palace are playing today, so obviously they'll have shorter recovery times. Just to look at their starting lineup. Currently, they should be beating Strasbourg. They're still beating Strasbourg second half. Yeah, but the points on the board too never lies as well. We're all together in this. League table still says we have 18 points and 2 points off top 4. So Crystal Palace, their starting lineup for today pretty much has the same team that's going to play. Pretty much has the same team that's going to play against Man United. They have their Gehi, Lacroix, and Canvo. Who did I start? Yeah. Henderson. Oh, Henderson has been good this season anyway. So Gehi, Lacroix, Canvor. You have Munoz, Hughes, Lerma. You could have Hughes and this Asian guy. Let me find him. You could have Hughes. Just give me Kamada. That's the guy. You could have Hughes and Kamada. You could have Wharton and Kamada. Wharton is still. Is Wharton injured? No, Wharton is not injured. You see, you have Kamada on the bench. You also have. Oh, Wharton is not. It's not even in the squad. Where's Wharton? Wharton is not in the squad. Yeah, so you have Hughes, you have Kamada, you can play Kamada as well in that position. You could also play Justin Devaney, right? You have Romain Esse as well. You have Chrysanthus Uche, who's an attacker as well. So you have Lemma Hughes, you have Munoz as right wing back, you have Tariq Mitchell as left wing back, and you also have Ismail Assar, Mateta, Philippe Mateta, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and then Yeremy Pino as the 210s. Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a tough game, but I think in games where we go in and we are kind of like the underdogs, everybody's going to be doubting us. That's the game we're going to now win. So Crystal Palace is a tough game, but it is what it is. At the moment, we are just like, you think we will lose and we win, or draw at least. You think we'll win, we lose, and it's a mentality issue. This squad hasn't got to the level to conquer. You are 100% right, because even Rúben Amorim said it before the game, where he said, so the question that was asked to him was basically, oh, at this point now, do you believe that your squad has gotten to the point where your team can, the dressing room can police itself? You don't need to, do anything. Everybody's just going to be on point and stuff. And he says, that he feels that we're not there yet, that he believes that we'll get to a point where he doesn't need to even be in training. He just needs to stand there and watch and talk about tactics, but we're not there yet, because he has to be there to tell them everything till we get perfect. So we're not there yet. So I watched that press conference, and you've actually just spoken what Rúben Amorim said again. We're not there yet. We've not hit the place where we should be hitting at this point in time. We're still in kind of like the first phase of rebuild. And I think in the Everton game, why we didn't win is because we didn't even leave first gear. But it is what it is. Rúben Amorim insists that Manchester United will put the interests of the club first when it comes to Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee potentially leaving in January. So this was what he said in the presser. And surprisingly, Zirkzee started, but Roma are reportedly among clubs who are interested in Zirkzee, since he has been left out of the Netherlands' most recent squad for November internationals. September, October, November, he was left out. I think in August he was also left out. Mainoo, meanwhile, is keen to stay at United long term, but is eyeing up a loan move to search for more regular minutes as he bids to get back in the England reckoning under Thomas Tuchel. For me, let's forget. You see, Mainoo, just forget about making the England squad, because that midfield is stacked, man. That midfield is stacked. Amorim did admit that. I agree, but to keep telling the media, I think he needs to be more clever. He's been in that position before. Yeah, I mean, I think Amorim has even become a little bit more clever with his delivery. What he's telling the media is the absolute fact, but he's telling them that fact because he doesn't want them to have something to say. So he already, imagine for a manager to tell you, oh, I don't want to tell you, I'll tell you the next one, and then you're going to have a headline. That's what he says. But he's telling them the fact because he knows that they're definitely going to print it anyway. So you say, oh, the dressing room, what do you want to get out? Like, in the pre-match press conference, instead of asking him questions around, oh, what are your thoughts about the game? What do you think about Oliver Glasner? I mean, what do you think about David Moyes, as a former manager of this club, the work he's done, his body of work and stuff. What do you expect from the team? Nothing about the team. All I'm hearing is about the player, about the dressing room, about the club, about your 1 year in charge. Nothing about the game. So he's telling them what they want to hear. It's clever enough that you're telling them what they want to hear instead of kind of telling them, I don't know. Like they ask him, are you sure your team will get to the point where the dressing room polices itself? It's a test to pull him to say, oh, maybe have you lost the dressing room, or the dressing room is still under your control, blah 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 blah. And then he just gives them an answer. Oh, we're not there yet. We're working on it. We're definitely working on it. That's clever. We're working on it. We're not in the point where I have to tell. We're still at the point where I have to tell them everything. But it is what it is. We're still not there. Definitely not there. He's been in that position before, he understands, and he's even more clever with the way he puts out stuff in the media. Now, Menu is obviously keen to leave, but December departures of Brian Mbeumo, Amad Diallo, and Isaiah Majari to the African Cup of Nations leaves Amorim short of options, with United's interest set to be the priority when it comes to any exit decisions, which means that with what he said in the press conference pre-Everton, it's like we have to focus on the club first. So if anybody is going to leave, no, it has to be the club first. So if you're leaving, that means you want to put the club in danger of, getting things right. But it is what it is. That is pretty much on the Menu situation. And Amorim said before the Everton game that he understands Zirkzee's frustration. And like I said, Zirkzee had the opportunity to take the chances, but he didn't. He didn't take his chance, but I mean, he had 3 chances. The keeper was just good on the day. Another news with regards to academy players was that Rúben Amorim named Zirkzee on the bench, and he seems to be the closest to come on with regards to players that would make an impact from the academy at Man United. Next one is Simon Stone from the BBC, who said that this was with regards to the question he asked Rúben Amorim about Manuel Ugarte and his poor run of form. And he says, this is what Simon Stone says. Manchester United coach Rúben Amorim is determined to help Manuel Ugarte out of his current slump. Amorim worked successfully with Ugarte with the Uruguay midfielder during his time at Sporting. However, Ugarte has failed to hit up the same levels at Old Trafford, scoring 2 goals in 55 appearances since his £40 million move from PSG in August of 2024. His performances have attracted greater scrutiny as his intended arrival was the reason why United opted to sell Scott McTominay to Napoli. And I remember my United fans getting really excited. Oh, we get a better player than McTominay. How the tables have turned. When we're backing McTominay, people are like, no, why you backing McTominay? He's gash, blah 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 blah. Now we're reaping the results and the rewards. Amorim accepts Ugarte is struggling, he said in the press conference, but he feels that the 24-year-old has the capability to make a greater impact than he has so far. He says, this is what Amorim says, you can sense a lot of very good players come here and sometimes they struggle. He said he's struggling at the moment, but it's our job to try and help him to feel like I felt when he was a Sporting player, but it is different. It's a different world, and he needs to adapt and he needs to improve, especially in training. So Amorim is seeing something in training that Ugarte is not showing, that Ugarte is not doing, and all of that. But it is what it is. One of those things. Also, personally, says I'm happy to stick with the manager, as that's something we never do in recent history. I don't mind how far we fall. Surely it's time to think differently. Okay, this is what Etienne is saying. Brian Mbeumo's insane statistics that highlights early impact of Man United, and maybe just let's read that. This is according to the People's Person on Yahoo Sports. A number of statistics have emerged underlining just how quickly Brian Mbeumo has made himself indispensable at Man United. Mbeumo hasn't looked out of place even for a moment since joining Man United during the summer transfer window from Brentford. United bought him for around 65 million. The Cameroon international has made right. So Mbeumo is currently United's leading goal scorer, 5 goals, 5 Premier League goals, and 6 across all competitions. He has also provided 1 assist. The Cameroonian has made United's right channel a dangerous avenue of attack. He has particularly struck a deadly partnership with Ahmad. Even more astounding is that Mbeumo seems to be equally impactful on the left. Rúben Amorim used him on the pitch, on the left side of the pitch, for the 2-2 draw to Spurs. Now, the outstanding stat is that, aside from being United's top scorer, Mbeumo has made the joint most appearances this term alongside Bruno, Benjamin Semenyo, and Matthijs de Ligt. Statisticians Opta via United revealed that Mbeumo's off-ball runs is the highest in Premier League so far. He boasts a jaw-dropping 169 runs. ITN is asking, when are Mbeumo and Diallo off to AFCON? From what we hear, they're supposed to be off by 8th of December. But I hear also that Man United are working on something with the FAs of their countries to Mazraoui as well, to allow them to stay at least for the Wolves game. And the Wolves game takes place on the 8th. Let me look at the fixtures again. So on the 8th of December, we take on Wolves. Yeah, the Wolves game takes place on the 8th, on Monday. So it'd be super interesting to see if they play that Wolves game away and then they go on to the international break. They go on to their countries immediately after the game. So they're supposed to be leaving on the 8th or 7th of December. So 2 weeks before the tournament starts. And the tournament starts on the 21st of December. So the stats is saying that Mbeumo has made a jaw-dropping 169 off the ball runs in behind the defenses. No other player has made more. Well, no other player has made one. Oli Watkins has 156. Victor Gyökeres has 120. Mohamed Salah has 114. And they're all trailing Mbeumo. The 26-year-old forward has made 105 off the ball runs into the attacking third in the Premier League, and he's joined by. We discussed Amorim should be ready. Yeah, we discussed that Amorim should be ready, and this is not a surprise if you get me. Yeah, proactive. Yeah. Facts. So Mazraoui as well, but we can cover his position. His performances versus Spurs shows me in his consistency, game runs. Otherwise, he looks awful. Yeah, heavy touches here and there. Even Dogu had heavy touches in that game. I'm not gonna lie, especially in that Spurs game. I highlighted that when we're doing the review. This amazing stat about. So basically, just to talk about what ITN is saying in the chat here, with the right wing back position, Mazraoui can be covered by Diallo for a few games, right? 8 games, I think. And then you can bring somebody else from the academy to cover that right wing back spot. You have Bendito Mantato, even though I said the gap in quality is there. You also have Jaden Camerson as well. You also have Diego León can come on. Luke Shaw can play there depending on who he wants and all of that. So we shall see. I hope that these young players also get the chance. Maybe they can start building that momentum to get to be able to play. James Scanlon is not another person it's not another player to overlook. He's such a good player, very versatile and pacey as well. But yeah, I don't think he's a right wing back, but we shall see. Maybe get us to at least maybe January, and they'll probably get like another cheaper player that can fit in that thing and give that right wing back spot to give Diogo Dalot a run for his position. Back to, and then where we don't have credible replacements. Maybe if you say you shift Bruno up top to one of the 10s, where we don't have credible replacements is in mid, and where we don't have credible replacements is in the 10s when Ahmad and Mbeumo leave. So it's a tough one. Now, just hear this. It's a very funny stat, but the 26-year-old United forward has made 105 off-ball runs into the attacking third in the Premier League, and he's joined by, guess who? Double 14, double 12, double 12, no, double 10, no, double 12. Florian Wirtz of Liverpool, and then Gyökeres, who have also registered the same number, 105 off-the-ball runs. Considering the Everton game, it probably would be over maybe 107 off-the-ball runs, 110 off-the-ball runs, whatever the case. When it comes to expected assists, Mbeumo also tops the Premier League leaderboard. He has logged 2.54 XG, expected assists, which puts him ahead of Jack Grealish in 2.48 and Keenan Dewsbury-Hall in 2.45. Finally, only Manchester City striker Erling Haaland, 14, has more open play goals than Mbeumo's 5. So he doesn't even have a penalty and stuff, right? Man United and yeah, so that was this start was pretty much before the January, before the Everton game. Yeah, I think we have 3 more news before we kind of call it a wrap. Matchday United could sanction a January loan exit for Diego León. I brought you this yesterday when we talked about players who can go on loan. Matchday United may sanction a loan exit for a 18-year-old Paraguayan international Diego León in the winter transfer window, according to reports from Argentine journalist Uriel Lucht. León may not spend the second half of the 25-26 season with Manchester United. The Paraguayan prospect has yet to break into the first team squad at Old Trafford, and regular action in the senior setup at another club could actually benefit him. The latest update has revealed that Manchester United may sanction a loan exit for the South American sensation in the winter transfer window. Meanwhile, the youngster does not look unfavorably on leaving Man United to rack up minutes and gain experience at another club. In the second half of 25-26 campaign, Diego León arrived at Man United a few months ago with fanfare surrounding his blah blah blah. However, the Paraguayan international has yet to make a senior start. The latest report revealed that Manchester United may allow Diego León embark on a renewed adventure in the winter window, albeit a short-term loan deal to the end of 25-26 campaign. The youngster is not averse to the idea either, and he can rack up regular game time for the club's senior side. I've not seen any this is from here. Just reports are from this Hughes guy, Looked guy. Then there's also reports that David Moyes wants to block James Garner's exit amid emerging links. Aston Villa and Newcastle United suffer a blow in their pursuit of James Garner as David Moyes wants to block the exit. But there's also a link that James Garner was going to come to Man United, come back, because obviously I can understand that he potentially would have a score to settle at the club and there'll be a chance for him to come. I'm not opposed to James Garner coming, but we are already getting Orozco coming in. I don't know if he's going to go straight into the first team. We have Orozco coming in. We have other players on the horizon, coming in and all. So we're getting a Carlos Baleba. We're getting probably a João Gomez. And then you want to say that potentially James Garner is going to lack. It's not going to get minutes. So I don't think we should even go for him. Yeah, it is what it is. But it's one of those things where you just have to work with what you have and build momentum from what you have, what you can get. Man United's next game is against Crystal Palace. It's going to be a tough game. We have a run of games that can potentially be tough, but it's one of those things where you just have to, accept that this is where it is and build momentum from there. It'll be interesting to see, because that Premier League weekend is also going to be a tough Premier League weekend. You have Brentford playing Burnley. That one we know where that's going to go. It's going to be a rowdy game. Potentially, Burnley could lose to Brentford because Brentford are home. Man City, Leeds, Man City, the end result of that one. Bournemouth, Sunderland is going to be a tough game. Or Sunderland, Bournemouth is going to be a very tough game. Everton, Newcastle, I would love to see the outcome. Probably going to be a draw. Newcastle is going to be getting annoyed because they lost in Europe. They want to play David Moyes, and we'll see how that pans out. Tottenham, Fulham is a London derby. We'll see the end product of that one is going to be a really tough one as well, for Tottenham versus Fulham. Fulham coming from I think they had they won their last game. Chukwueze assisted the striker, this Mexican striker. Spurs coming from a defeat in the weekend, potentially to Arsenal, moving straight to another London derby. It's going to be a really tough one for Spurs. Spurs are home and they don't seem to win at home. And then the next day we have, which is the day that is on focus, and we definitely will prepare for a watch along. It's pretty early, so at least I can do the watch along for that Sunday game. It's early for me. I don't care. After last season's finish in the league, we're a mess and more dark days are coming, and that's the reality. I'm so stupid to still believe we win every game. ITN is changing. ITN is not happy, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I believe we're going to win Crystal Palace. It's going to be hard. Maybe I'm not going to give my prediction on, watch it in the match preview. Yeah, so other tough games. Forest Brighton, this is going to be a tough game. Liverpool West Ham. Nuno Espirito Santo versus Arne Slot. And then the big one for the weekend, which is Chelsea versus Arsenal. London derby. What do you guys think? I think Arsenal is going to beat Chelsea, but Chelsea are also tough because they have a good midfield. Yeah, so it is what it is. So pretty much straightforward and all of that. Currently, because I'm monitoring the Crystal Palace game. Currently, Crystal Palace are winning. Oh, it's 1-1. Ooh, it's 1-1. Emega is a Chelsea striker who was sent on loan. Has lost the most duels in the game, 8 in the match. Emega is Chelsea striker who is on loan at Strasbourg. Yeah, Emmanuel Emega. And then Darren Mitchell scored. Oh man, it's going to be tough. And we play Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Selhurst Park. Okay, just to give you a quick stat on that game before we go, I will talk about it in the match match preview. Crystal Palace in their home. Their home record is they have 4 wins, 0 draws, and 2 losses. Away record is 1 win, 3 draws, and 4 losses. Crystal Palace have won 7 times in the past 30 minutes versus Manchester United. Yeah, 4 wins, and they don't lose at home. They don't draw at home, but they've lost twice at home. And Man United 2 wins. It's actually Man United. Man United at home 4 wins, 0 draws, and 2 losses. I think they lost to Arsenal and Everton. The 2 losses we've had at home. Away we have 1 win, 3 draws, and 2 losses. And then we have. Then for Crystal Palace, they have 2 wins at home, 4 draws, so they don't just lose at home, no loss. And then away, they have 3 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. So kind of even on every side, but it is what it is. ITN is saying Arsenal are a problem, looming for a while now. Others, their competitions are falling, and they seem good. Premier League and Europe. If Arsenal get any big trophy, it's deserved, and don't forget how toxic they were till now. Yeah. That is, somebody made a very good point, and another person said, "Oh, stop comparing." I'm not going to mention his name because I usually don't like his take on things, but somebody made a very good point by saying that Arsenal are reaping the rewards of patience and perseverance when it comes to them sticking with their manager. But we, as Man United, we started a project, it's in different phases, and we are not decided, we don't want to stick with our manager. It's a big problem. That's what he said. And then someone else replied, or not replied, but is reacting to it because obviously it was on socials that, it was on socials that that Arteta, they had patience with Arteta and stuff, and then we're getting to the point where it's looking like, oh, we shouldn't compare Arsenal to Man United. Amorim is garbage, Amorim is trash, this, and that. In truth, Arsenal fan base was toxic at some point, and right now they are delivering. They are doing their best and all of that. In as much as I feel like they're going to bottle it, but I don't know, I'm a bit scared for them. I feel like they're going to bottle it, but we shall see. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I think we've tried to cover everything that we needed to cover. Let me see. Just looking at the list here. We talked about Mbeumo. We talked about academy stats, academy stars name. We talked about Zirkzee tension. One thing we missed is that Amorim said before the Everton game that being unbeaten is not enough, which means we need to raise the standards, right? And with regards to squad expectations, we're supposed to be winning games, and then this is a run where we're supposed to take full charge of what is actually going on, and then we can't. So it's a big problem. We need to be winning games, and it's tough, right? So yeah, it is what it is. Just it's a tough one, but we have to accept it, innit? So if Arsenal win a trophy, the fans are not going to be, they're not going to be kind, man. Boy, how do I feel? Yeah, Liverpool can win from here. They will sack a manager, they'll start a rebuild again from scratch, and yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Talked about everything. We talked about James Garner's block. We talked about the unbeaten not being enough. We also talked about Amorim, Antoine Semenyo. We also talked about León. We talked about Patrick Dogu. We talked about, now the last one before we go. We have like 2 more minutes. Declan Rice was a big signing, and we were asleep. Yeah, 100 million pounds. That's a really tough one. That's actually a tough one to accept, man. Declan Rice and stuff, right? But it is what it is. Samuel Lakos came out yesterday to say something that Manchester United are planning to back Rúben Amorim. They're planning to back Rúben Amorim in the summer. In the winter window, with an opportunity for us to spend over 200 million. Manchester United have also been monitoring Atlanta's Ederson for months. His agent now suggests that the deal is worth around 30 to 40 million pounds and could be possible in the upcoming windows. So it's still a rumor. So it's been a really tough one to accept. Knowing how bad our midfield is now. Yeah, facts. Homegrown English is what we need. Potentially, yeah. Now we're begging for Anderson, and they have already put in 100 million pounds on him. Yeah, ITN, you're spitting facts here, man. So yeah, it is what it is. It's one of those things we have to just, and it just shows we are totally out of our depth at this point. No, I think we're trying to get things back on track. Declan Rice signing was missed by the old regime, basically, Ed Woodward and co. We could have gone for him, but obviously he was signed for 100 million pounds. Hasn't won a trophy yet in the number of years he's been there, but Man United have won trophies. But then still doesn't talk about the underlying issues that we have as a team. But yeah, it is what it is. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I talked about Amorim going to be backed in the winter to sign players, so potentially would get players in January and all of that. But yeah, it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you ITN for joining. It's been an interesting, very tense, I think this is one of the most interesting and tense conversations we've had with regards to difference of opinions and stuff. I really appreciate you coming on and supporting the channel. Long may it continue. I also know that some of you are also commenting just after the live and stuff, but I really appreciate that. We're gonna have proper conversations. And to my folks on Facebook, I don't forget you guys, because you guys are the real superheroes, because you guys make this worth it, right? I see your comments, I see your, we don't agree on some things, but that's why we all have We all have our opinions, and football is there. It's for all. It's not for a specific select people who have an opinion. I might be Amorim in and you could be Amorim out. Doesn't change the fact that we all love our club and we want to watch you. I love Manchester United, and I want Manchester United to succeed. You also want Manchester United and to succeed. You love Manchester United as well. So yeah, so I really appreciate that. It's been an interesting conversation. I like the challenge. ITN says I challenge you at times, but it's normal. Yeah, that's facts. I like it. So it makes it super interesting. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And to my Facebook folks, you're gonna see this video and you could drop in the comment section. Also give us a follow on all other platforms so we can actually have proper conversations on all of that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe. I want to get the glory. ITN is saying we all want to get glory again. We will. I just have this sinking feeling, but I'm not going to say what I said at the beginning of the season. Maybe you saw the video, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to leave it that way it is, right? So yeah, that's why I whispered. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye and God bless.